because it's been 100 years since we had a pandemic, so none of us had the experience of knowing what to expect or how big it might be. And we usually like to have the cup is overflowing approach to life, don't we? So therefore you'd think, okay, I wonder what it's going to be, we'll handle it. But as you say, we had no idea it was going to be so pervasive. What was your immediate reaction as a management team?
And there was definitely quite significant uncertainty. So for instance, we didn't know whether banking, as in branches, was an essential service or not in the early days.
Right.
And so, if you think about the most vulnerable banking customers in any country, they are typically quite skewed towards needing branch face-to-face facilities. So, if you're suffering, some sort of different ability in the sense of being able to read, or contact, if you're on the other side of what we call the sort of digital divide, or you're isolated from technology, then actually the phone and going to see people face to face. So it became quite clear quickly that banking would be an essential service. COVID turns up and we've got 1,400 people working from home in 6 days. And so, licensing arrangements, great support from our partners like Microsoft and others, scaling out the VPN, which just wasn't, used to being able to handle a whole bank working from home. You think about the telco networks, they just had to scale like they never have before in New Zealand. So all of those decisions could be, as it turned out, safely made in a way shorter time than we were taking.
Yes, so it's interesting, isn't it? Because as you say, for 12, 13, 14 months, you were having this conversation, you tested it with a small number of up to 300 people, and then along comes COVID, so you had to scale up to 1,400 overnight. I guess the question is, the reason that we all take so long in our original decision making is that we are concerned about risk, obviously, and how it's going to impact the business. And so we're trying to mitigate risk by covering everything, questioning everything, checking and evaluating everything. So has this experience, firstly, did any of the risks occur? And if
No.
yes, no, okay, good, tick, excellent. And if they didn't occur, then do you, as you started to suggest just then, are our boards and our senior management and our people going to be ready for the next time you want to introduce a major change? Are they going to learn from this lesson, and is it going to happen again? Or will they switch back to the original behaviour, which is, let's just take our time here, let's not be too risky?
Oh, it's a great question. Look, I'd love to think that we've built some new muscle. Banks are a little bit different. The sort of core principle of a bank supposedly is we're supposed to be in the risk business. And, that risk appetite really is the core of whether, who you decide to lend to, what activities you undertake, etc. And so, we should be pretty wired to understand that operating within the risk appetite mandate is kind of how our optimal settings are.
What is your advice to small businesses in terms of business planning, financial planning, technology and digital planning? Do you have some advice for the small businesses to help them understand what is going to be required to survive and thrive to 2030? Because we may have another pandemic of a different strain coming 2 years from now that might put us all backwards to where we were last year.
If you think about businesses that thrive, they are, usually really clear about what business they're in and what business they're not in. And so I think if you start to think that way, you go, well, say I'm a restaurant, what business am I in? I might decide I'm in the experience business, but actually, putting up the online website for ordering and delivery, I don't need to be in that business. There's other people in that business. I just need to use their capabilities. So, finding someone who can put up a hosted website for you so you don't have to hire someone to build a website and learn and make all your mistakes for the first time. If I'm in the restaurant business, do I need to be a search engine optimization guru? Probably not. There's people that do that. So how do I find those? So I think, what my view is that really much more around trying to orchestrate all the different capabilities that make you more resilient and more able to thrive is kind of the core competency that you want to be thinking about.